Well, the video cut off, but I am back with video 2. Seems like all my batteries are running low, even on my computer now. Okay. I get it, Spirit. It's time to turn off the camera. Let me finish. On the last video, I was talking about how to handle. Hold on. Let me see here. How to handle your emotional triggers, okay? So again, if you are wondering where I'm getting my information, it's off of a website on Google called powerofpositivity.com. I'm so grateful that I found this. 5 ways to identify your emotional triggers and how to handle them. In the first video, I went over my notes on what emotional triggers are and how to make yourself aware when you're being emotionally triggered, and some tips on what to look for. So, I'm going to close out this by giving you some tips on how to handle it. So the first step, okay, is to be aware. Okay, be aware of what you're feeling, when you're feeling it, and why you're feeling it. Because without the awareness, you react out of a sense of survival. In other words, you're going to want to attack, you know? And it's like, no, you don't have to. Even though you don't intend to attack, just be aware. It'll save you a lot of stress. Remember the upside of stress. It is a good thing. It's a good thing to be stressed out, but it's also a good thing to be aware when you're being triggered. It reduces the level of anxiety. It reduces depression. Okay, it reduces a lot. Let's see here. Hold on, let me see if I can find that spot over here. What did it say? Okay. It reduces anxiety. It reduces panic attacks. It reduces discouragement, despair. It reduces negative self-talk just by being aware of it. So, again, without awareness, you react out of a sense of survival. The second step is own your feelings. We tend to justify our reactions and blame. So stop blaming, but own it. Own it, guys. Just own your feelings and say, I feel this way. Don't say, you made me feel this way, or you did this, you did that. No, because it's only yours. No one can control your emotions. They can push your buttons and try to trigger you, because some people are just assholes like that. Narcissists like to do that. Abusers like to do that for power and control. See, because they are triggered too. Just remember that. Don't blame anyone for your shit. Own your feelings. I love you guys when I say that. You know that, right? The third step is express what you felt during whatever that exchange was. Okay? You can share it verbally, you can write it out, or you can speak to a therapist. Okay? But get what you need out there without blame. That's what it says. I felt sad. I felt angry. Those are just some things that you can say without blame. I statements. I felt. Okay? Or I feel. The fourth thing is identify the need that didn't get met behind the emotional trigger. In other words, figure out what that need was that you didn't get met, whether it was in childhood, whether it was from a mother, a father, a teacher, or how about someone you really loved, you know? Express it. Express what you felt during that exchange. If you have to go back in time and remember, then that's a good thing, because it's bringing it to the forefront. It's saying, I'm aware of it, and now I'm going to own it. But by owning it, you have to express what you felt during that time. Make sense? Good. I hope you're still watching. All right. So, when you identify that need, okay, do it without expectations, okay? Identify the need that didn't get met behind the emotional trigger. It can be related to a need or expectation not being met, like, okay? This is just a list that they gave me online as far as things that didn't get met. So it can be an acceptance of who you are. If someone did not accept who you were, okay, that wears on us. If you didn't get love and affection or attention, okay, freedom to do things. How about that? I didn't get to go out anywhere, when I was a kid. I didn't get to go watch bands play, and that's why I love music so much now, because my dad used to say, no, you can't go anywhere. Or how about roller skating? I used to want to go roller skating all the time. He said no, but I snuck off and did it anyway, and to this day I still carry a pair of speed skates in my car, and I love to roller skate, and I listen to music every chance I get. See what I mean? Those are things that happened when I was younger, but I realized that, hey, I'm an adult now. I don't need to be triggered by that. I don't need to accept that I'm not allowed to do that, because I am allowed. Does that make sense? I really hope you're understanding what I'm saying here. Or how about the freedom to do things, okay? The consistency and safety. If you didn't have a good structure in your home, okay, there was no, routine, there was no safety, you could just run amok, which was my family. My dad was a truck driver, my grandmother worked grave shifts at Da Vinci's restaurant. I don't know if you guys remember Da Vinci's out here in Tucson, but my grandmother was a bartender there for 20 years. She had gallbladder surgery, and after that happened, she wound up with blood clots. She lost her house and lost her job, and then eventually she died later, okay? But that was not consistent. I didn't feel safe all the time. I never knew what was going to happen, okay? So those are things that I've identified that didn't get met. Another one is fairness, especially between siblings. That was another thing that happened to me. I always got blamed for everything. I was the only one that ever got beaten, I felt. My brother got beaten pretty bad too, but my sister, on the other hand, was a spoiled, rotten little brat. And I'm going to say that because it's true. Now, that right there is an emotional trigger, but I can accept that because I already know that it is. I don't understand why my sister is so hateful, but that's her thing to deal with, right? So there was no fairness in my house. So I guess I have a problem with that. Acknowledgement of importance, attractiveness, ability, or intelligence. So these are the needs that didn't get met behind the triggers, right? First time I talked to a boy, you want to know what my dad said to me? When he found me talking to a boy on the side of the road. Now, mind you, I'd never had sex. I was only in elementary, junior high school, I think, junior high. I was talking to a boy. My dad found me on the side of the road talking to him after his AA meeting because I ran off to say hi to him. Anyway, when he saw me, first thing he did was he got me into the car, grabbed me by my wrist, threw me in the car, took me home, and then he told me, "Take a shower, you stink like a whore." Who does that to a child who's just talking to a boy? But see, he didn't acknowledge the importance of myself, of what I was doing. That someone was actually attracted to me, my ability to know right and wrong, and my intelligence in getting home safely and knowing what I'm doing. But that's just one example that I can give you right now off the top of my head, just to kind of relate and give you an idea of where you can look inside your head and say, okay, Where didn't I get acknowledged for my importance, attractiveness, ability, or intelligence? Okay? These are things that stem from childhood. Remember what I said in the beginning about, let's see, what did I say? Triggers have us responding as the hurt child or insecure high school student. Whatever age we were during the traumatic event tends to be the level of maturity for that specific trigger. So identifying what that is will help you understand why you're triggered now as an adult. Right. I'm going to keep going and finish this video off. These triggers arise from deep-rooted childhood, misunderstandings of events, or strong emotional reactions to disappointments in life. Okay? Decide to give those emotions a name so you can move on. It's time to do the work. It's time to heal. I don't know about you, but I am sick of sitting in it. I don't want to be triggered. One thing I learned from therapy was, Amber, you're not crazy. You're not schizophrenic. You're not bipolar. Well, what am I? You're an empath. You need more sleep, less stress, less anxiety. You need to eat better and get some exercise. My therapist told me, once you learn to control those emotions, Amber, the rest of you will follow through. Well, I've spent a lifetime, 44 years of my life now. I'm now 44, and I'm still learning how to deal with my emotions. So don't think it's easy. Don't think I got it made. Everything might look good in videos because I am like a little kid myself all the time. But I have a big heart. I don't intend to hurt people. I don't intend to be triggered. I don't know that I'm being triggered. But now I'm going to be more aware. I'm going to own my feelings. I'm going to express what I feel during whatever exchange I've been in. And I'm going to identify the need that didn't get met behind the emotional trigger, right? I really hope and pray that something I said in these videos have really helped you. And if it hasn't, I really hope that you'll re-listen again and keep an open mind. I love you all. I thank you in advance for all your likes and subscribes and shares, okay? Just keep the love coming. Do the work on yourself. You do not have to tell anybody. If you're not comfortable seeing a therapist, then get out a journal and write it all out. Write till your hand falls off. That's what my dad used to tell me. Amber, I want you to do me a favor. And well, yeah, what's that, Dad? He would tell me, I want you to sit down and write down everything that you want to say. I don't care if it's fuck the world 1,000 times. Write it down until your hand falls off. And then I want you to seal it up in an envelope. And I want you to put it away somewhere out of sight, out of mind for at least 2 weeks. Then you pull it out, you reread it, and then you can laugh at your silly ass. That's exactly what my dad told me. I tripped out. I didn't understand what he said, but I did the work. I did it. And I did laugh at myself. And another thing that I learned in therapy in 1998, okay, from my therapist was how to write a letter without blame to people that had hurt me. It was very hard, okay? In 1998, I wrote a 10-page letter to my dad. I wrote a 5-page letter to my sister and my brother. But this time, I didn't put blame in it. I even let my therapist read it before I sent it to him. She said I could send it to him, or I could tear it up and burn it and throw it out, as long as I got it out on paper. So I wrote that letter. I put it in the bottom of the Christmas presents one year, and I dropped them off at my dad's. I didn't speak to my dad for 3 years until my sister called me and said, Grandpa wants to see Marissa, and if you don't let her him see her, he's going to get you for grandparents' rights, right? Well, that was 3 years later. When we started talking, we had the best conversation. We became closer. We bonded. And I finally got him to tell me he loved me back. All these years he would say ditto. Ditto, ditto. Until that moment when I said, why can't you just say you love me? You know what he said? Love you, darling. Nobody loves you. That's what he used to say. Nobody loves you. Well, I didn't know that his nickname was Nobody. These are some insights into what the benefits are to just writing. Try to sit down and write yourself a letter. Write your inner child. I don't care what it is. Write to yourself. Write a letter. Or write a letter to someone that hurt you. But do not put blame. Put the I felt sad. I felt angry. Okay? I am sad. I am angry. You can explain why or whatever. You don't have to give it to them. You don't have to tell anybody. Remember, it's a secret. As long as you do the work. Be aware. Own your feelings. Express what you felt during whatever exchange. Identify the need that didn't get met behind the emotional trigger. Okay? Because they arise from deep-rooted childhood, from misunderstandings of events, or strong emotional reactions to disappointments in life. But always remember, you can decide to give those emotions a name so you can move on. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and share. I'm going to leave my email below in the comment section so you can email me if you have any questions or you want to talk. Okay? I'm just going to leave it open. Just remember, I'm not a therapist. I didn't go to school for this, but I did spend years learning. I did spend years in groups and therapy, in reading and research, and I have done a little bit of college, okay? But I am a human being. I'm a citizen here in Tucson, Arizona, and I am just like you, who gets triggered. But now I'm more aware of why I'm triggered, and I'm willing to do the work. Are you? Like, subscribe, and share to my channel. I'm Amber Johnson with Helping the Good People here in Tucson. Stay tuned for my next video, whether it be music or topics about domestic violence or emotional triggers. Stay tuned.